Yo, 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 everybody. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Just about through, aren't we? So close. You know what we're missing? You know what it is? Music. And without the music, it just isn't the same. You know what I mean? Thank you. Man, I appreciate everybody for giving me the opportunity to earn your viewership. And of course, I'm Mad Max. This is the Russian Tea Room, and I am the Sofa King, great variety show host. So, welcome. Everyone here is welcome. Got some playoffs to talk about, NFL news. I won't get too involved with this whole court thing because simply it's over and done with now. You win some, you lose some. Even with overwhelming evidence at times, you get hit with something else. I got no ill will against anyone or anything. The judge was real nice. The DA, the prosecutors, maybe not the nicest people in the world, but you know what? I'm grateful. I'm thankful. It could have turned out a whole lot worse. And if I look at it objectively, if I paid a guy already $1,500 and then he was gonna have me plead out guilty plus another $500, that would have been 2 grand. But I ended up saving $1,700 if I look at it another way, like what I was charged and how it ended up working out. So I'm thankful, and that's all I can say. Other than that, I'm glad it's over and done with, and I can I can relax, and not have to worry about it anymore. Because honestly, it, not so much stresses me out, but it just bothered me because it already been resolved through the insurance companies, which did their own insurance company thing, and they came to the conclusion in favor that no fault, none. So, but that's not what it was about. In this case, it was about cooperation or lack thereof. But then you have to ask yourself, if you're being called by a police officer, let's say, wouldn't you think that police officer would call you from a number that isn't a private number? That way you can, know who you're talking with. And that goes with anybody. It's bad enough you get spammed left and right. But if you got a private number that calls you, how are you going to verify who you are speaking with? You aren't. You can't. There's no way to do it. So it's one of those things that, as much sense as it makes, it doesn't get recognized and people don't take it into account. So I'm not saying the justice system failed. I'm not a victim over here crying about it. I'm just saying that certain things need to be taken into account. Otherwise, it's just a one sided, you know, dog and pony show and nobody really wins, but you can make it out any way you want. I'm just glad it's over with. Like I said, I'm grateful, thankful. Judge was nice. And ultimately, I care more about what the judge thinks, even though he said he didn't believe me, which maybe we could have phrased that a little bit different because the way I take it is probably not the right way. I don't believe he's calling me a liar because if that was the case, then the insurance companies wouldn't have found a favorable outcome in my favor. But anyway, something that never happened cost the city a whole lot more, and the common people, the taxpayers, the guys and gals out there doing their jobs. Not to say I don't pay taxes, but it cost them a whole lot more for this nonsense. The guy that put this report in, you know, he was nervous, he was shaky. You could tell he wasn't comfortable, and whether or not he realizes what he caused didn't need to be done, and let the insurance companies do what they do. That's their job. That's what you pay them for. That's what I told him. But anyway, fortunately, there was no accident, and even more so, fortunately, nobody was injured from an accident that didn't happen. And yet, I was charged for lack of cooperation. But there again, I'm not the most cooperative person when it comes to, you know, law enforcement. And that's not a knock against law enforcement. They're absolutely necessary. Don't think I'm saying I don't respect what they do, but just like anything else, you got good and bad. You got good and bad. Good cops, bad cops, good people, bad people, no difference. And in this case, maybe the individual, the officer, could have done a better job with the way he conducted his investigation or didn't conduct his investigation by having a one-sided, you know, like I said, a one-sided event that didn't benefit anybody. And though I was able to defend myself with little to no problem and destroy, and I mean destroy, everything that was put up against me in way of a private number on July 3rd over the 4th of July weekend. Who's going to call from a private number? Cops don't do that. If they're doing it from their office or they're doing it from a number that you can recognize. They're not going to be calling you from private numbers. That's what I'm saying. Or if by default a private number means you're getting called from the police, then let that be known. Otherwise, I can't verify you. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand. The individuals that are watching, I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Nothing but gratitude coming your way for giving me the opportunity to earn your viewership. And if you ever get tired of hearing that, well, you might be at the wrong place. But also, before I get off on anything else, use those codes down at the bottom, the W's. If you tried them and you like caffeine, you know what? Save yourself some money. Use my code Sofa King. Save 10%. Go to grassrootskc.com. Now it's a different schedule, etc., which it helps out everything. And you can save 10% by using my code. And that's max10 at grassrootskc.com, which comes 110% money back guarantee. Because your satisfaction is ultimately all that matters. And we've never had anybody complain. None but 5-star reviews. We ship nationwide. We ship all over the place. You like the caviar, you like the infused, you like whatever you like. We got that. Check it out. Grassrootskc.com. Max 10. Excuse the raspy voice. Anyway, so I don't want to beat a dead horse to death anymore with this whole court thing, but all I'm saying is stick to your guns. If you know you're right, then you know what? Defend yourself. If a lawyer was going to make you out to be some kind of, I don't know, doing you a favor by making you a deal because he goes to work and has to rub elbows with these people all day long every day, then yeah, of course, he's not going to try to fucking make enemies with him. You wanted somebody that doesn't give a shit. You want somebody in there that's going to do their job, and that is to prove your innocence. And as far as I'm concerned, an investigation needs to be done properly. You look at both sides, not just one side, and then come to a conclusion. It's kind of like the GOAT debate in sports. You just put one or two guys out there. In some cases, yeah, you could do that. If you want to talk about greatest quarterbacks, Brady's probably going to be at the top of your list, but you're going to throw out names like Manning. You're going to throw out Montana. You're going to throw out guys like that. You're going to throw out names like Mahomes. There's going to be other individuals like Elway that are going to get thrown out. Favre, Bradshaw. So it's not a one-sided thing. You have to have all the candidates. That way you have a fair and accurate, or more so accurate, evaluation, and look at all the contestants as opposed to being force fed something that you may or may not agree with. And if anybody watching is interested in coming on, it's an interactive show every time, all the time. Just let me know and I'll send a link right now in the comments. So let me know. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the people from Canada and all the people from across the pond that tune in. You guys are awesome. Appreciate that. Been to both. But anyway, the memory ain't what it used to be. Sorry about that. If I forget things, you have to excuse me. But ultimately, stand up for yourself. If you're right, then you have nothing to worry about. If you're telling the truth, you got nothing to worry about. Does that mean it's going to work out your way? Possibly. But more than likely, it all just depends. It depends on who's listening to you and how things work. There's a good old boy system in everything. That includes law enforcement and the judiciary. We got three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. So out here, wherever you are in America, it affects you the same way. And hey, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, good evening. Hey, how you guys doing? Guys, gals, everybody. Appreciate you. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. Let me know if you're ready for some NFL talk or if you want to talk about something else before we get started. So we can do it all. It's a variety show. Think of it as the modern age Johnny Carson without any guests yet. But anyway, just be careful out there. Some things you need to get representation to help you out, other things you don't. If you look at your back, the insurance card that you have for your motor vehicle, it's going to tell you never to admit fault. Oh, that simple. Never admit fault, and then you can use it kind of like I did against him today. I got the right to remain silent. Why would I want to incriminate myself? I don't have to do anything. I didn't have to talk to you. I didn't have to answer the phone. If I would have let it go to voicemail, would you have left a number I can call you back at? Because clearly I can't call back a private number. Anyway, done talking about the private number nonsense and the judicial system and some of its flaws. We've been there. We've done that. It's probably not going to change. We're certainly not going to find a cure for cancer in the course of the show's runtime this evening, but we're going to work hard for it. So anyway, they treated me good. They had a wheelchair there this time. They had one last time. I didn't use it. This time I used it. My wife was there, very supportive, very helpful, love her to death. And I didn't bring my son. He was actually in school and I didn't want to pull him out. But, that was my decision. I'm not trying to get him, and he's got a lawyer that I paid, so I'm letting them work everything out on that end. I think they more or less wanted to get me. I don't know how they're gonna charge him for an accident that doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. It never happened. Let me rephrase that. An accident did happen at some point in time, but it did not involve me, my vehicle, or my son. I would say it's his vehicle, but he doesn't own it. I bought it and I gave it to him. Nice 2013 Ultima. Anyway, let's look into this in NFL here. All right. Boom. Make it big so I could see Bills Broncos Saturday, 3:30. Should be a good game. I really feel, and I'm going to be honest with you, I really feel that the winner of this game, no matter who it is, isn't going to go to the Super Bowl. I promise. That sounds crazy. The first seed and the sixth seed. Yeah, Josh Allen and Bo Nix. Yes, I know. But hear me out here for a second. What is let me see. Of course, they don't have anything I want. Let me pull it up. I want to see got Buffalo 1.5, and the over/under is 46. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I like Denver. I'm going with the Broncos. You heard it here first. They're at home. They're in Mile High. Buffalo played really good the other week against Jacksonville, but what they did at the same time was show a lot of the flaws and a lot of the weaknesses in their game, both offensively and defensively. It had Jacksonville done a few different things, they would have won that game. Liam Cohn, relatively new coach. I get it. Buffalo, Josh Allen, seasoned-ish quarterback since 2018. Big MVP, defending MVP. Been having a great season. Got this team in the playoffs. They're 13-5 after a win against the 14-3 number one seeded Broncos. Sean Payton isn't going to make the same mistakes that Liam Cohen made, and I don't see Bo Nix doing that either. I feel the Broncos are going to go heavy on the run game, and they're going to lean on that more so than anything else. And I feel like they're going to get that going as opposed to Buffalo, who I think is going to try to establish a run game, but they're going to throw things off by establishing a pass game to set up the run game to wear out that defensive line and end up going that route. But we're going to go with Denver on this one. The Broncos. And next we've got 49ers and Seahawks. There's a good possibility. This is going to be the 7 p.m. game on Saturday. This is going to be in Seattle. Seattle is the 7-point favorite. The over/under is 45. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the winner of this game is probably going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold has been something that I never thought I'd see out of a USC quarterback. That being good. And Brock Purdy's Brock Purdy. And he really surprised me last week with what he was able to do against the Eagles in Lincoln Financial Field in that hostile environment. So I think that he's going to be ready for Seattle. It's the third time these teams have met. I think that it's going to be a good game any way it goes. I think even though the 49ers are shorthanded on both sides of the field, offense and defense, I think they know how to win, and I think that they will win this game. And you know what? It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game because Seattle's a very, very good team. But I think that because 49ers know what it takes to get there and have been there before, they're going to rely on that and lean on that and use that and probably use the shortcomings, if you will, of the past couple Super Bowls that they've lost, which they had a good opportunity to win, which they lost to the Chiefs, by the way, I'm just saying. But I think that they can make a real big difference, and I think that's what we're going to see. And I think that we're going to see a 49ers upset over the number one Seattle Seahawks. So 49ers is who we are going with in this. Moving right along, make sure I don't have any comments. I don't want to leave anybody out. And feel free to comment, please. I encourage it. I really do, and I appreciate you all, as I said before. So we're done with Saturday. Now we're going to Sunday. And here's what I think. I'll be honest with you, starting with this game here. Texans, Patriots, number 2 seed against the number 5 seed. The Texans, because the Jaguars were the higher seed in that division, which would have put them at number 3, if I'm not mistaken, because number 4 were the Pittsburgh Steelers, which lost to the Texans, which are now going to be in Foxborough or Gillette or whatever the stadium is called at this point in time. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Patriots won the division. Drake May, and here we go. I'll tell you, when I'm wrong about something, I'll be the first one to admit it. No doubt. No cap. Drake May has really surprised me, and I did not think that he would be as consistent and as good in as quick a time frame, similar to Bo Nix, as he has been. And I think that there is a very good possibility that whoever the winner of this game is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. And who do I think is going to win? I think that the defense is going to be the difference maker. They are able to win games and make moves and do things, which they proved against Pittsburgh Monday night. And say what you will about Pittsburgh, and say what you will about Mike Tomlin, say what you will about Aaron Rodgers, makes no difference. Pittsburgh is a very difficult place to win. They have good players on both sides of the ball, so there's really no excuse other than the fact that the Texans were able to overcome the turnovers and find a way to win. I feel that adversity makes them a better team. Now, granted, they are going to be playing a considerably better team in the Patriots with Mike Vrabel. That toughness, that grit that he brings, the old school Patriots, the second coming of Belichick, whatever you want to call it. And Drake May, like I said, the UNC quarterbacks, Mitchell Trubisky just made them look bad, but Drake May has redeemed them in many ways. And like I said, I feel like the winner of this game is going to be the representative of the AFC. Very much possible. I feel it. And that's going to be the Texans. So we're going to go with the Texans, their defense, and their offense. They just have to clean it up and make sure that they don't make mistakes. But the defense, solid. Best defense in the league. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to go Texans in this upset. I know. I'm not crazy. I'm just being honest. And by the way, we were 50-50 last week, so 3 for 3. Some of those games could win either way, and some teams couldn't hold on to win, but that happens. Hey, what do you do? What can you do? Things are going to happen out of your control, and you know what? That's the way it is. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. I'm not writing things down. I think I can remember long enough. And in case I don't, then you guys can always help me out because that's what we do. Anyway, I think we got one more game to go. And we do. It's going to be the Rams and the Bears. We got this game Sunday, 5:30. It's going to be in Chicago, Soldier Field. Rams, Bears. LA's favored by 3.5. The over-under is 40. Is that 46 or 48? 48.5. And honestly, this game can go either way. Here's where the Bears are going to have a hard time, and it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to find it difficult to be able to do what they did and make a comeback against a team like Los Angeles with the experience of Sean McVay, who's been to a couple of Super Bowls, not to mention Matthew Stafford, who has won the one Super Bowl that he went to against, I would say a very good Bengals team. So this comes down to experience. I really think that Ben Johnson has a great offense and a very good defense, but I believe that the Rams are going to surprise a lot of people and show you why they're 13-5 and are going to be able to win this game against Chicago in Soldier Field, because the Rams, though I've seen them do some things that don't make a lot of sense at times, I think the experience at certain positions, that includes coaching and, of course, veteran leadership in the quarterback position, amongst several others, and star athletes that are phenomenal, like Puka Nakua, etc. I think we're going to have a great game, but ultimately, I like an upset, and I like the Rams. So just to recap, I know it sounds like it's going to be just a sad, upset day, but hear me out. We're going with the Broncos. We're going with the 49ers. We're going with the Texans. And we're going with the Rams. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said it and I meant it. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't. So that's all I got. I hope everybody, is doing great. I'm a little bit tired as I have taken my medication for the evening. And at this point, I don't have a whole lot more to add. You guys are great. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If there's any topics you want to talk about, we're going to start doing some tool stuff. Don't take this the wrong way, but while I was in the hospital, I'm not by any means going to be turning wrenches and working on things, but I can be quite useful when it comes to giving you tool reviews, and tips and tricks, and hopefully be able to be helpful and save you some money and maybe save you some time and some headaches. Some things are a lot less difficult, and depending on how you learn and how well I am at explaining and showing you, you can get the right tool for the right job without spending too much money or spending more money than you have to. The more expensive a tool is doesn't necessarily make it better. That's a misconception that has been going on for years. Just because something's more expensive doesn't mean it is better. You just need the right tool for the right job and know what that tool is and how to use it properly. Every tool has a purpose, and as long as you understand that, you're going to be fine. I got a gaggle of stuff in there. A lot of it is Ryobi, not Ryobi. There's a difference. It's pronounced Ryobi. And of course, that's part of TTI, which is Tectronic Industries. And then you have my other favorite, which is going to be DeWalt, which is SBC, Stanley Black& Decker. And you can go under both umbrellas and find out what each brand makes and see that a lot of the stuff that they do make and a lot of the things that you see have a lot of things in common, simply because they're coming out of the same factories in China, which, like Keystone, for example, is a big one, and there's several others. So a lot of things are very similar, though they might look different internally, they're very similar. So I'll explain that as well and get more in depth into that. And of course, sports cards. If anybody's interested, I'm looking to liquidate it all because I don't want to leave the burden of anything should anything ever happen to me, to my kids, or anything else that have no interest in doing anything with it. So anybody interested in sports cards, and I've got thousands, probably 300,000 minimum, maybe 500,000, thousands of autographs, all authentic. I have I don't even want to get into it, but a lot of sports cards. And as always, I wish you nothing but the best. We may be on again. We'll see how I feel. And, I don't feel defeated. I just don't feel vindicated. But at the same time, I'm not going to let it ruin my day. And just keep faithful, keep hopeful, trust in the Lord, do good things, help people out. But at the same time, don't be a simp, don't be a sucker. Don't be somebody's punching bag, and don't let somebody try to gaslight you into thinking that you've done something wrong when you know better and you know you haven't. So trust in yourself and trust in the Lord, because He trusts, or she trusts, it trusts, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to verbalize it as. The Lord trusts you. All right? Keep that positive message going. Keep the positive vibes flowing. Don't let things get you down. Keep your head up. And remember, no matter how bad you think you have it, somebody's always got it worse. Just remember that. I know it can be hard, but it's true. And that's what you got to keep in mind. So thank you all once again for tuning in. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to earn your viewership. And I hope to see you again. And I'll be back possibly this week. We'll see how we feel. And nothing but love. Peace from Kansas City. It's your boy Mad Max. And I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces. God bless.